So I'm starting another cake. I'm baking another rum cake, fruit cake, Jamaican rum cake, whatever you want to call it. And I take out all my ingredients, starting with butter, sugar, which you beat together at first. Then you add the eggs. So these are the ingredients here. You got baking powder, eggs, butter, call that already. You got to have some cinnamon, vanilla, almond essence, and rose water if you're putting rose water. You got your browning, and of course the good old Jamaican white rum, and your red label wine. There's the flour, and you have to put salt in it, okay? Just a little bit. I always put a little salt, but you got to be careful. Anyway, so first thing I do, especially the butter is always hard when you take it out of the fridge. So I started beating the butter. And I beat the butter there and it's soft. So now I'm going to add the sugar. So I add my sugar. And I put it to beat and get fluffed up. This is another way to incorporate air in your cake, by beating the butter and the sugar. The other way is also to is the baking powder, and another way to add air in it is when you sift the flour. Actually, it's four ways: eggs, flour, baking powder, and beating of the butter and the sugar. Rum cake is very heavy, and it needs to get some air in it so it's not too heavy. It can be very heavy. First thing I do after I beat the butter and the sugar is to beat the eggs. All right, and you add that to it. I actually forgot and add the eggs and the and some of the fruit before I started the video to started the video. Anyway, you understand. Beat the egg and the butter and the sugar, then you add the and you add the eggs, and all my liquid, most of my liquid go here, which is the vanilla, almond essence, whatever liquid, except the liquids, except the lime, except the lime. So yeah, so you mix everything there, and I'm gonna put it in my big pudding pan. After I transfer everything to the pudding pan, I put some browning or burnt sugar, whatever it is you're using. And, don't put too much browning, because if you put too much, the cake get too black. So, got to put it, when it bake, it's going to be darker. Right? When the cake bake, it's going to be so much darker. Anyway, you start adding your flour in increments until it mix out. And mix out your flour good. You don't want pieces of flour in your... I'm pouring in wine and rum at this point. And as you can see, I don't measure nothing. I just go by eye. And from years of baking, I just pour some in. Pour in the wine, pour in the rum. And the cake is finished now. So all I'm going to do now, the last thing I'm going to put in is my lime rind and my lime juice. Why you put in the lime juice last? Because you don't want to put it in too early, so it can interact with the baking powder and start to raise before it get into the oven. So anyway, I put in the rind, and the lime juice is the last thing I'm adding now. So then the next thing I'm doing here is I'm gonna put I already put the lining in the cake tin, but I am greasing this flour nail. This is a flour nail that we use to make roses on. But I always put it in the center of my cake so as to pull the heat towards the center of the cake. Sometimes you bake and your cake center is the last thing, almost every time you bake. The cake center is the last thing to bake. So you want something there to pull the heat towards the middle. And any kind of metal you have, you can use it to do that. So I use the flour nail all the time in a big size cake. This is a 10-inch pan, and anything 10-inch and upwards I put at the center. The other ones 8-inch and 9-inch bake much easier, but a 10-inch cake, the center. But you have to remember to take it out when you're done. I once bake a cake and start decorating it, icing it, and never take out the flour nail out the middle. What a calamity. Me have to go back and dig up in it and take out the flour nail. So don't let that happen to you. Just remember that it's there, because sometimes the cake cover it. This doll pan come with a piece in the center of it. And that's how it comes, because it's a deep, long cake, and it helps the cake to bake in the middle. So, I'm showing you this example, just an example. Anyway, all the cakes are baked, and you can see this one with the flour nail sticking up in the middle. Yeah, there was quite a few cakes we did. So, you can look at some of the other cakes that I made here. But I want to tell you that I'm going to do more cake decorating video this coming year. This is, me making icing, royal icing for cake. And I'm showing you that I'm decorating this one, doing the crumb coat first, and then put on the icing. And I think I did fondant on this one. Anyway, I promise to do more cake decorating videos next year. I used to do cakes, I used to do wedding cakes, all kind of cakes in Brooklyn, New York before I moved to Georgia. If you didn't hear it before, I do have another video where I show you some of my cakes, and I'm showing you some coming up here. This one was a birthday cake for a friend here in Georgia that I did about a year and a half ago. And they loved it. It was actually used the petal pan for this, the same petal pan I was showing you. So yes, I don't do much cake since I come to much wedding cake since I actually much cake, just Christmas cake since I moved to Georgia. That's why I love my New York, because in New York I did a lot of weddings. I'm too old now. I don't know if I want to bother with wedding cake again, but if it's something that you like, it's something I could coach you and tell you how to start and how to set up your business. Lots of brides feature my wedding cakes at their wedding. I've had so much stuff and so much. Some brides never served the cake. This is called a Stardust cake, and I made 5 for 5 different brides. They love that cake, and the reason is when they have like a 300, I find that Guyanese and some other people, when they have big weddings and they need a lot of cake, and that Stardust cake have a lot of cake. Yeah, this is a birthday cake. The girl cried when she got it. Anyway, we're not, it's just showing you some of what I did before. And so enjoy your holiday. And please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I am trying to get to 7,000. Actually, I want to get to 10,000. But 7,000. Happy holidays, and subscribe and like. Thank you very much.